Good morning, class 7. We will continue with the chapter Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. In the previous class, we have discussed about the 6 types of forest which are present. So, I hope you people have gone through the chapter and have seen the special features or whatever you can say things you have to memorize about the forest. Right? Before proceeding with the chapter, we will just do a quick recap of the forest. When we talk about the tropical evergreen forest, it is also called as tropical rainforest. We have discussed the reason that this area receives rainfall throughout the year. And evergreen, why is it called evergreen? Because there are trees which are they never shed their leaves throughout the year. That is the reason they are known as tropical evergreen forest. And the area in which they are found is from equator to the tropics. So that's why they are they have got the name tropical evergreen forest. Now the air, if you talk about the climate, it is hot and humid with the area, as I have told you, that receives rainfall throughout the year. And the sunlight, because the trees, as you can see it in the picture also in the chart where we have read about the tropical evergreen forest, you can see the picture in figure 6.3. The leaves, their plants are so much close to each other that the sunlight doesn't reach the ground. Trees which are found here are rosewood, ebony and mahogany. Then we have talked about tropical deciduous forest. These are the monsoon forests of India. And when you talk about abroad, they are found in North Australia and Central America. They have seasonal changes, as I have told you, that they shed their leaves in the dry months to conserve water, that is to reduce the process of transpiration. The trees which are found in this tropical deciduous forest are sal, teak, neem, shisham, which are used in making of furniture, transport, constructional purposes. The wildlife which we find in the tropical deciduous forest consists of tiger, lion, elephants, etc. Then we have talked about temperate evergreen forest. Mid-latitudinal coastal areas which lie between 66.5 degree north to 66.5 degree south. East margin of Southeast USA, South China and Southeast Brazil. The trees which you can find in the temperate evergreen forest are oak, pine and eucalyptus. So, I hope you people will be able to memorize them now. Then we have talked about temperate deciduous forest. At higher latitudes we can find temperate deciduous forest. They are in Northeast USA, China, New Zealand, Chile, West Europe. As they are deciduous, so they shed their leaves once, and that is in the dry season. The trees which you can find in the temperate deciduous forest are oak, ash, beech. When we talk about the wildlife, the animals which we can find are deer, fox, wolf. The birds which are visible or can be seen here are monals and pheasants. In this you can find, if you talk about the Indian context, you can see the temperate deciduous forest in the Himalayan region. Then we have talked about Mediterranean vegetation. Okay, so east and northeast margins of temperate and deciduous forest, then they are mainly in the areas like Mediterranean Sea, California, Southwest Africa, Southwest Australia and South America. Their climate is hot and dry. The bark of the trees, they are thick, the leaves are as if they are wax coated just to reduce the transpiration. The purpose is to conserve water. Mild rainy winters can be felt here, that means like rainfall occurs in the winter season and it is that too also very mild. This area is known as the orchards of the world, and you can find the fruits like oranges, figs, olives, grapes, lemon, etc. So as we have discussed that citrus fruits can be found in Mediterranean vegetation. Then the last one which we have talked about was coniferous forest, popularly known as taiga, which means pure. This word is a Russian word and it is found at the higher latitudes from 50 to 70 degree. Now the trees which we find here are tall and softwood, and the most important is that they are also evergreen. The pulp of these trees are used to make paper, matchboxes. They are used for packaging purposes. Trees are cher, pine, cedar. The animals which we find here are silver, fox, mink, polar bear. So I hope this much, if you have read this much, it is time it will be clear to you all. Let's go ahead and begin with the tropical grasslands. Okay, so let's begin with the tropical grasslands. Now these occur on either side of the equator and extend till the tropics. This vegetation grows in the areas of moderate to low amount of rainfall. The grass can grow very tall, about 3 to 4 meters in height. Savanna grasslands of Africa are of this type. Elephant, zebra, giraffe, deer, leopards are common in tropical grasslands. So you can see the picture of the tropical grassland in figure 6.14. Okay, so the tropical grasslands, they are, if we talk about the equator, it's on the either side of the equator, and here you get low to moderate, that means very less rainfall can be found here. Then the trees are up to the height of 3 to 4 meters. East Africa, this place is known as savanna. When we talk about Brazil, it is known as campos. In Venezuela, it is known as llanos. The wildlife, we get elephants, zebra, leopard, deer and giraffe. Okay, so that is about the tropical grassland. Now we will talk about temperate grasslands. These are found in the mid-latitudinal zones and in the interior part of the continents. Usually grass here is short and nutritious. Wild buffaloes, bison, antelopes are common in the temperate region. So this area of temperate grassland, you can find it in the mid-latitude and interior of the continent. The grasses which we find here are short, but they are nutritious, and therefore we can find the animals like wild buffalo, bison, antelope. The areas where we find it is Argentina, where it is known as pampas. In North America, it is known as prairies. In South Africa, it is known as wells. In Central Asia, it is known as steppes, and in Australia, it is known as downs. Okay. Then we will talk about the thorny bushes. These are found in the desert-like region. Tropical deserts are located on the western margins of the continent. The vegetation cover is scarce. Here, because of scanty rain and scorching heat, identify the desert region. Now, can you name the great desert of India? Name some of the common animals of desert which you have learned earlier. If you reach the polar region, you will find the place extremely cold. The growth of natural vegetation is very limited. Only mosses, lichens and very small shrubs are found here. It grows during the very short summer. This is called tundra type of vegetation. This vegetation is found in the polar areas of Europe, Asia and North America. The animals have thick fur and thick skin to protect themselves from the cold climatic condition. Seal, walruses, musk oxen, Arctic owl, polar bear and snow foxes are some of the animals found here. You can see the figure 6.16. So when we talk about the thorny bushes, they are found in the dry areas and they are in the western margins of the continent. Obviously, because it is the dry area, you find very scarce vegetation, that is very less vegetation. and since therefore the reason is that the rainfall is also very less. There you can see the plants like cactus, which stem is modified to leaf and leaf is modified to thorns, and the purpose here again is to reduce transpiration, that is conservation of water. Okay, so and then we have talked about tundra climate. They are found in the polar areas of Europe, Asia and North America. Here, the animals which survive here, they have very thick fur and the skin to protect them. Then we find moths, lichens, rhododendrons. The animal which we find here are seal, walrus, penguin, musk oxen, Arctic owl, polar bear, snow fox. Salima's father showed her some photographs of thick forest. In some of the photographs, Salima observed that people were cutting trees and clearing the forest. Her father explained that the local people wanted their land for agriculture and settlement, so they cleared up the forest. Salima started understanding if all forests are cleared, then where will the wildlife go? Will the forest take its original shape again? If people go on cutting the trees like this, will there be enough oxygen, water vapor, timber, fruits, nuts available in future? So obviously when Salima's father showed her the photograph and he told her that the people are cutting the forest for the sake of development, so she was trying to understand that what if the forest will be cut down and then there will be no forest, then how will people survive without oxygen? From where we will be getting the oxygen? She, if people go on cutting the trees like this, there will be less oxygen and less water vapor, and so they were very much worried. She got very much worried what will be the future. So do you agree with Salima? Hold a discussion with your friends about the depletion of our diversified flora and fauna. Suggest some measures to conserve them. So this discussion you people can have among yourselves and talk about it, that if the depletion continue like this, and what will be the impact on flora and fauna. You can suggest some measures. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Please take care of yourselves. Question answers I will be sending you in the next class. The reason being, you don't have your notebooks right now, so there is no point in sending the question answers. So I will be sending you the question answers in next class. Take care of yourselves. Be safe at home. Thank you.